Okay, time for another demonstration of one of my machines that I'm listing on eBay. This is the TI-99 4A. Built in 1981. These were great little machines. They're actually quite popular. This one is in very good shape. You'll see it's got very little yellowing. All the keys are in place. It's in very good shape machine. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate a few of the functions. I also have in this listing the Peripheral Expansion System, or the Peripheral Expansion Box they like to call it, or PEB. You can't see it right now with the current camera angle, but you'll see it shortly. I just wanted to demonstrate the machine by itself for just a second. So first, I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate the speech synthesizer. That's the little box sitting outside here. And here is the speech synthesizer cartridge. It's called the speech editor. I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Now, by the way, this speech synthesizer can be used with other cartridges and from BASIC as well. Let's power it on. Now, the machine actually is connected to the screen directly through an RCA cable. This listing does include the video modulator for channels 3 and 4, but it just looks so much better going straight through. So that's why the screen's in such good shape here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and then we'll turn on the speech synthesizer. And you can just do some simple things like, watch this. Hopefully you heard that. Let's try some more. So that's just fun. So now I'm going to go ahead and plug in the PEB, the PEB, and we're going to do some disk interface and show you some other cartridges, as well as we're going to show you the RS-232 interface in a moment. So we've changed the camera angle a little bit so you can see the peripheral expansion system. And this particular one has 4 cards in it. It's got the interface card, which is interfacing to the TI-99 4A. It has an RS-232 serial card in it, a 32K memory expansion, and also the disk subsystem. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, and we're going to start off with something simple. We're going to start off with the disk manager. That's one of the cartridges that comes with the system. And here it is. Actually, Disk Manager 2. So we'll plug in Disk Manager 2, turn on the system, and now with the Disk Manager, I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Now the Disk Manager obviously needs a disk, so this system is listed with 4 disks. And those 4 disks I'll be explaining a little bit later, but the first one I'll start off with, which is simple, the Adventure disk. So this is something not a lot of people understand, but you can go ahead and buy an Adventure cart online or something, and I'll show you that in a minute. But the problem with just buying an Adventure cart is that all it is the skeleton system. You actually need a disc or a cassette to be able to play some of the adventures. So we're going to go ahead and put this Adventure disc in. And we'll just do a disc catalog. Now the Peripheral Expansion System, it actually supports up to 3 discs, numbered 1, 2, 3. So we're going to do a catalog of the first one. So that's just showing all the files that are on that disk, and the files here are just numbered from 0 to 8. So while we're at it, let's go ahead and fire up the Adventure. First thing I'm going to do, though, is turn the system off and grab the Adventure cart. And we'll fire it back up. Just like everything, you have to start up the Adventure, and it fires up. And then the first thing that Adventure does is ask you where the database is. Any cart will do this. So if you get a cart and you don't have a disk system or a cassette, you're kind of out of luck. But to do this, and you need to do it in all caps to make all the systems work, it's DSK1, and we're going to do the first Adventure, 01. And it goes to the disk drive. You can hear the thing moving there a little bit. And it's going to fire up that disk Adventure. This is the first one. This is actually the one that came with the Adventure card originally. I have 8 of them on this disk, and it comes actually with another disk with another 6. And we're just going to fire it up. Oops, we want to say no. We don't want to. But these are always fun to play. I could spend hours on these things, but I'm not going to. What I am going to show you, though, is another card. Okay, I want to turn off that and take this disk out. We'll leave that right there. I'm going to show you the Microsoft Multiplan card. It's actually another good point on this one. You can have the Microsoft Multiplan cartridge, and it does you no good unless you have the disk. Here's the disc for the multi-plan. Now, by the way, these discs are copies. I don't have the originals. Okay, and we fire it up. Just like always. So when it comes up, it actually expects the disc to be in there, and you put in disc 1 and go ahead and say load. And magically, it's actually pretty neat. I really think they did a great job on multiplan. And you might see some of the lights in the expansion system going off and on. This is hitting the disc. That's the interface card itself. Actually, yeah. And then that's the memory card. So it's actually accessing the memory card. And there it is. There's multiplan. So I'm not going to get into it too much. Instead, I'm going to show you the working RS-232 interface. Now, to show the RS-232 interface, I am going to plug it into a Linux machine that I have running here, and we're going to get a login prompt over there. And this would be how you'd actually use it back in the day. So the RS-232 here can go up to 300 baud, massively fast, 7 bits, but it worked. The terminal emulation, by the way, is something that was had a lot to be desired, but it worked. Let me get it plugged in and we'll show you. So the RS-332 for the TI-99 4A peripheral expansion box is standard device, so you can talk to it just like you could a disk or what have you. But there's a special cart that's really good. It's actually somewhat of a rare cart, but it's a Terminal Emulator 2. And that's this one right here. So plug that in. And we don't need a disk for this one, but we do need the expansion interface because it has the RS-232 on it. So when the Terminal 2 comes up, start it like everything else. Okay, so here's where we have our choices. So we'll go 300 baud, massively fast. We're going to do no parity. And all the other ones are default, except when it goes down to auto login file. Now, if you give it a file name, it'll look on the disk to try to find it. Well, I'm going to say, no, I'm going to hit a space and then return, and that tells it, hey, I don't want to do an auto login file. So the terminal's up and running. So now I'm going to make sure that I have a login, so to speak, running on my Linux box, and then we'll go ahead and try it. Now we've actually started up a what's called a Getty on this system. So I have my Linux box talking to this TI-99 4A, and it is blindingly fast at 300 baud. Look at this. It actually works. So let's do some fun. Let's play adventure, the standard adventure that you would run on a Linux machine. Welcome to adventure. Would you like instructions? Of course not. And there you are, standing in the road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. And if you guys might remember this one, first you enter the building. And then you do the secret. Actually, normally you'd pick stuff up, but I'm not going to. I'm going to do the secret word. But any of you that played Adventure will remember that. So anyway, that's just a quick demonstration. Showed a few cartridges working. There's actually 40 cartridges that come with this machine, 6 different overlays, the working peripheral system, 4 discs, and all the cables, all the power supplies, and everything you need. And the thing works just great. Thanks.